Hi, Eric Gibaud, Gibaud.com, and today I am in front of Digit Photo, the shop in the city of Metz in France, who lent me the camera. This is the Nikon Z6 Mark II with the lens 24-70mm f4. So I made some picture in this beautiful city of Metz, and I show you my result and my opinion about this camera. So let's start. Well, it is almost raining, so I'm going to get inside. They left me a space for me so I can record there. So let's get inside to speak about the camera. So indoor a bit better for the weather, okay? So we'll say goodbye outdoor, okay? So here's the Z6 Mark II, Z6 Mark II, depending on where you are, or you say Z or Z, okay? No problem. This is not a new camera. It's been out for, I think, a year or something like this. And this is the camera that replaced the Z6. That was the first mirrorless camera by Nikon, this type of camera. I should say this type because I had the J and all this, okay? So let's speak about this, okay? And the Z6 was a first try with the Z7. First try, it was, maybe it sounds a bit strange to say that, okay? That was the first one for them. But the Z6 has better things that people were asking for, things like this. So I'm going to show you some pictures I've made, a bit of video also, and give you my impression about the camera, okay? Some technical details also, obviously. So I didn't do a review, in-depth review of the Z6, although I've seen it, I've touched it, I've used it a bit, but never enough to make a full review, okay? So I cannot compare exactly peer-to-peer what's different, all this. There are a few things that are different, okay? But what I'm going to give you my impression about this one. First, what I like is the way you hold it. That's nice. The grip is nice. My hand is not very big. It's not too small either. Maybe someone with a big hand would be a problem to have the small finger that falls out. But most people with large hands, they normally put a vertical grip, so they have more grip. It's better for them to hold, okay? But I think, to me, that's fine, okay? You have a top screen here, back screen here, buttons here, okay? You have a wheel here, wheel there, okay? The screen is fully touchable, and you can orient it this way or this way, but not sideways. So photographers, many photographers will be really happy. This is just flip like this, okay? And many other will be a videographer would like to have a side flip, okay? Well, it never rains to the taste of every person, so that's the way it is, okay? If I speak about the buttons, well, maybe I don't like when there are too many buttons, but maybe some extra button would be fine, okay? For some function, things like this. But the one that are here, because there's something maybe you have to access through menu, well, okay. But the one that are here are, well, they fall noise under your fingers. If I, the shutter obviously, but here record, ISO, all this. You have a joystick here, a pad here. That works fine, okay? So I think this is nice. This is well balanced with this lens. This is the 24-70mm f4. I think for someone who wants to walk around, that's okay to visit and go traveling. It's kind of picture I've made for this video, okay? I think this is a nice camera with this lens. It's well balanced. So yeah, I like it. I like the way it looks. I like the way it feels. So now let's speak into more details about what's in there, okay? One of the main difference that we'll notice if you had the Z6 is when you open here, you have dual memory card slots, okay? You have for CF Express and also you have for SD card, okay? On the Z6, you had only CF Express that are more expensive cards, and here you can put UHS to SD card. And well, if you're going to work on a high frame rate in video, I recommend you use CF Express, or if you're using high burst rate when making picture, also CF Express. But otherwise, you can use your normal SD card without any problem, okay? Every full frame camera in the Z or Z category by Nikon, full frame, they have IBIS. So this one has IBIS, which is not the case of the Z50 and the ZFC that are APS-C. So this one has on IBIS. The body is fully stabilized. So I'm going to show you a sample. Obviously, I'm not a good judge because when you've used IBIS by Olympus, all of the IBIS seems to be stabilization seems really not that good. Okay, so but I'll show you and you decide yourself. Okay, testing stabilization. The sound is the one you hear from the camera directly. I've got the camera at waist level, walking slowly. Okay. So here to navigate, you have a joystick. They can navigate between the 273 autofocus point, which is good. And here you also have a pad. Okay, so one thing I don't like, when you're on the menu, you can navigate. You can only navigate with the pad. You cannot navigate with the joystick. And I think that would be a lot better to be able to move within the menu with a joystick, honestly. And Mr. Nikon says you want. I know you're watching my video. Hopefully, okay, please, I think it's time to review your menu system. Sony better the menu system. Even Olympus, our now OM system, has a lot better menu system with the OM1. So I think it's time that Nikon changes their menu system, which is hard to navigate, complicated, a bit easy to get lost. So please, it's time. So maybe I should not say it, but look at Canon's menu. This is what people want. People need that. Simple. Okay, thank you. I did not try enough the Z6 to tell you about the autofocus, and some people seemed to complain. This one, for me, it goes fine. I didn't do action photography to be able to say this is that very good or not that good, okay? But for what I did, it was fine, okay? You have face and eye detection, you have animal detection. I tried both. I tried with animal, a small bird, a city bird like this. Well, the one that's just shit on you if you come too close, okay? So I didn't stand too close, and with the 24-70 it was not close enough anyway, but it did detect the animal without any problem. What I can say is that for me, for what I did, the autofocus was fine even in dark situation, okay? But probably with this camera, with any camera, if you do action photography and need really fast or really perfect autofocus, you should try to test the camera yourself. Try it for yourself and decide, okay? And anyway, say it was okay with me, but I don't know if that would be okay for you. I was advised to fine-tune the autofocus to the as sensitive as possible, and yeah, that was fine. So for me, no problem. I forgot to say that it's not a contrast detection, but it is a phase detection, and the results are there. Okay, so contrast detection, there are less and less contrast detection. They're not as fast, not as precise, okay? And phase detection is supposedly the best you can get, or kind of system that works a lot better. And yeah, that's probably right. This goes fine, okay? Let's speak about the battery. Well, this is a new battery, okay? But one thing that is important is new battery but not new shape. It means you can use older batteries compatible with this one by Nikon, okay? So this one is a bit more expensive, better results. I don't have the figures exactly or many pictures you make with it, okay? But if you have older batteries, you can still use them if they're the same shape, obviously. So this is good news. And then, Mr. Nikon, I criticize your menus, but I want to tell you thank you. You are probably the last company that put in the box a real battery charger. A real charger where I remove my battery, I place my battery in the charger, I place my second battery in my camera and go out and keep shooting while my first battery is being charged at home or at the hotel, okay? So thank you so much. Second, you can actually connect your USB-C power bank or whatever to your camera to use it without consuming the battery. But not just that. Many systems, when you connect the USB-C, it will not consume battery. It will give power to the camera, but it will not charge the battery. In this case, it will keep charging the battery as well as you can use the camera. So good news. So Mr. Nikon, thank you very much for this charger and system. Thank you. Now let's speak about the esoteric. I don't say esoteric, I say esoteric. Speak about the ISO, okay? Well, native, it goes from 100 to 50,200 ISO. You can force it to 50 and up to 204,800 ISO. So I made some picture in the room of the hotel room where I'm staying. Honestly, I think up to 6400, they're really fine. 12,800, they need maybe a slight bit cleaning. 25,000 plus, then you start to need to clean seriously, and then over that it looks more like a pizza than a photo. Okay, I'm exaggerating obviously. Okay, maybe for paparazzi that's no problem, but I think yeah, up to 6,400 no problem. 1200 a bit of cleaning, 25,000 savable, and over that just because otherwise you would have no picture. For what I do, that's fine. Okay, for what I do, maybe some people will need a lot higher ISO, but for me that's fine. One thing that is different from the Z6 is because this one has dual processor, so it gives faster autofocus, faster things. I don't know how fast was the frame rate, burst rate. This one is 14 frames per second, which is really good. I think it's more than enough, but I don't know how much it was, how fast it was before. Okay, so it also helps to better video, but we'll see that in a few seconds. Shutter speed, it goes from 30 seconds up to 1/8,000th of a second, which is standard. Okay, for mechanical shutter you should add also the electronic shutter and the bulb mode, all this, but this is standard for this kind of camera. What I'm disappointed about is the flash synchro. For many years, Nikon reflex cameras, even mid-range, at 1/350th of a second. You can also on some camera force it to 1/320th of a second synchro. And on this Z6 and Z6 Mark II, it's 1/200th of a second. So I'm surprised because this is for me a premium camera, and I think the synchro flash should be higher, at least 1/250th of a second. It doesn't sound much, but when you do outdoor flash photography, you're really happy to have this extra 1/50th of a second. Okay. Let's speak about video. I'm not a video expert, okay, so I'm not going to get in many details, but I must say this is probably the first Nikon camera that I hear so many people telling they are using it for recording video. Before, I think many people were reluctant to use a Nikon camera for video, but this one, they have most things people would ask for. Okay, you have 4K 60 frames per second. Beware that I don't know when you bought the camera, if you have it, or if you're going to buy it, how long it's been on the shelf. Okay, but the 4K 60 was updated by firmware, so if you don't have the latest firmware, maybe your camera doesn't let you do 4K 60 frames per second. Then if you're in full HD, then you can go up to 120 frames per second, which is brilliant for slow motion. Optionally, if you pay extra, you get the Apple ProRes, so it lets you have this special log or profile to colorize your video in post-production. Okay, so you have this option. One thing I'm a bit disappointed is there is still the 30-minute limit on time continuous recording, which is really strange because this was because of a tax, and this tax has been removed in Europe. It was in Europe only, but the makers anywhere would put this limit everywhere in the world. Okay, but for 2 years now they don't have to put a limit, and they still have the 30-minute limit continuous recording, except if you record with an external recorder via HDMI. In this case there is no limit, but otherwise internally 30 minutes. What's about overheating? Well, honestly, I didn't record enough to be able to judge for that, but I've seen other reviews about the video side of this camera, and everyone seems to agree that there is no overheating problem. And what I noticed, for me, the autofocus was going fine. Okay. Well, let's speak about connectivity. Obviously, you have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. You can control your camera from your tablet or your smartphone using the Nikon app. Okay. If we speak about physical connectivity, here you have a headphone, microphone, USB-C, HDMI-C, and also remote control. And if you look at this here, I forgot to say here you have two function buttons here. One is assigned. You can change it, okay, but it's assigned by default to white balance, which is great when you're making picture. You get your gray card and straight away you press a button and you can have a tailor-made white balance. Okay, but yeah, I think everything is a nice camera. It's everything well placed, fine. That's nice. I like it. So my conclusion, well, honestly, I think this camera is great. I really like it. It's nice in hand, nice to use. I think the colors are really nice. although I work with raw files, I could change it, but the color straight out of the camera seems to be nice to me. The way to use it was nice. And yeah, I think it's a camera that is completely recommendable. So actually, this is a bit the competition of the Canon R6 and the Sony. I don't know which one would be, okay, if we compare with the Sony. And the good thing is, although I didn't try it, many people, when I publish a picture of this camera saying I was going to test it, already have it, and they say they have the adapter to use reflex lenses, Nikon reflex lenses, and they say it works really fine. So if you already have a reflex, a Nikon reflex camera, and you have several lenses, that's good news, because you could actually use them with this camera and it works fine. Maybe at a later date you buy some Z-mount lenses, but so far you could use yours. Okay, so for me, yes, this camera is completely recommendable. If you wish to buy it, I'll leave you links in the description on where to buy it. So let's go outdoor and say goodbye to Digit Photo. Well, to say goodbye, let's go outside again. Thank you so much, Digit Photo, for lending me the camera and for receiving me. More things we'll do together really soon. We already made many, so we'll make some more. So thank you very much to them. Thank you to you for watching the video. If you feel it may interest other people, please share it on social networks. If you have not done it yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Small button down here, and also a small bell. If you click on the bell, get notified when I upload a new video. My website, ericgibaud.com. If you have any question, can leave a comment below. I'll also leave you links of Margui on Amazon, links of everything I reviewed by K&F Concept, Sandmark, and Flashes by Westcott, and also a link to my PayPal account in case you wanted to make a donation. Thank you very much. Please take care of yourself and see you soon. Bye.